The fact of the matter is, unlike what's going on in other sports work stoppages, we've always had a clear definition of what we needed. And what we needed and asked for at the beginning was always what we got at the end. We never took more. And the game was unhealthy. The competitiveness wasn't there. I'm going to go back and explain this in 1 second. But we did what we had to do to not have 6, 8, or 10 years of a mess. And so we go through these things not because we want to, but because we have to get to a place where the game can be healthy. Because you can get through collective bargaining and you can drop the puck and go off, but if it's not working because you don't have the right system, what have you accomplished? Now, if the union doesn't want to agree, or the union wants to fight over it, or the players want to fight, then you have to deal with it to get to the right place. We've unfortunately had an era of very unstable labor relations with the union, going back, predating me, whether or not it was Eagleson to Goodenow. And then after Bob left, after the year off, I think we had 4 or 5 interim or real executive directors. The good news is, while we had to go through a feeling out period with a new executive director, Don Fear, the fact is we've gotten through that, and I think the union's probably stronger now than it's ever been, and I think that's a good thing, because a strong union can help you make decisions that have to be made for the greater good. A weak union can't tell its members, here are the changes we need. So the point I want to make is, if you think back at the game 12 years ago, before we had the current system, we had teams with $80 and $90 million payrolls, and we had teams with $20 million payrolls. And I would talk to the managers and the coaches of the $20 million teams, and I go, how are you doing this? And they would say to me, to a man, we clutch, we grab, we hook, we hold, and we do everything possible to neutralize skill for 50 minutes, and then we try and steal the game. And that is why the game as it was being played in the late 90s and early 2000s wasn't nearly as good as it is today. The reason the game on the ice is so strong, taking for granted, as I described this, our incredibly gifted athletes, is the fact that every team can be competitive and afford to be competitive, and that's why you see the competitive balance that we have, and that's why the game is as entertaining as it is.